Okay. Yep.
Great. So maybe I just introduce everybody. So we have is the next year's conference organizer. Wang was the webmaster for 500 years. And we're passing the torch to Wentao now.
Yeah.
And Kai is the current Eurographics UK chapter chair.
Yeah. And also, I think the majority of the time we're going to look at is, say, for the CGVC website, actually a conference website, but maybe we can also think about, maybe if you have time, about each UK website, and which is currently also, is that also managed by Wang or?
No.
No. Okay.
That's managed by Frank.
Okay. Yeah, I know Frank is doing, say, the URL and everything, but I don't know who is doing the website.
I actually don't know either.
I think one of the students.
Yeah. That's a separate issue, but we probably can have a different discussion with Wentao later if we want to, because that website definitely needs some update. It's been there for a long time. Yeah. Good. I guess, yeah, mostly it's just for Qiru or Wang to go through how do you create the website for a new conference. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Let me get the code out.
So the first thing is probably just to, in case someone don't have the URL for the GitHub repository yet.
Yes, I invited everybody. Did I?
Okay. So I can just put the link to the repository in the chat. So if you already invited, then you will be able to go there quickly.
So the repository has a README file which contains everything you need to do to add a new conference. Pretty much just copy and paste.
Wang, do you want to share the screen so
yeah,
and also good for the recording so we can see later people can see what you will talk about.
So let me close it. So every year you have a new folder at the root directory. So since 2020, that's where the website was updated. So what you have to do is basically copy and paste, rename it to 24. And within that folder, you search for this, so within the new folder, you just duplicate it, just search for this and replace with 4. And that's it.
Yeah.
But then the content-wise, you do have to, because it's using a templating engine called Liquid. And what it does is it reads parameter from the header. So what I have just replaced is basically replacing this from 23 to 24. So the engine knows the year, the value for this parameter is 24. So then it uses that value to, generate all the content. And next step is basically under the dash data folder, there is a folder as well. So you have to copy and paste that and replace it with 24, rename it. And then general information, for example, here you have this, you just have to keep searching 23 and replace it with 24. This is about the only, manual step involved here. And then you can, it's using this YAML format. It's like a file to store your more variables. Then you just replace the conference chat name. So for example, this year is, mine is your first name, right?
Yeah.
And well, you will have to replace all this affiliation, URL, email, and blah blah blah. Then also you have to update the dates, but the dates are not known at the moment, right?
Correct. You can just, for now, you can just put months and years.
Yeah,
without
so that's
days.
traditionally that's what we did. And it has all the complicated if and else logic. If this variable called extend exists, it will display the message submission deadline extended, blah blah blah. Otherwise, if this is coming out, it will not be shown on the website.
Okay. May I ask a question about the date?
Yeah, sure.
So is that just text, or would that
It's just,
be like recognized by? It's just text.
It's just short. They are just all strings.
String. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And same thing. Organizing committee, blah blah blah. Those are used to populate one of the pages somewhere. And web committee, yeah, those are all the same stuff. Then it comes to program, which is the most annoying part. You have to manually define start, end, and name, sometimes description as well. And so it has arrays within arrays within arrays. So yeah, that's the most annoying. I hated it most. So every year someone is supposed, I guess this year is mine, is supposed to send you the list of programs with all the detail, the time, you know, and yeah, so basically everything. You just have to make do, I guess.
Yeah.
So just modify this with the start and time and sponsors. I don't think that's going to change, but again, it's pretty easy. Name, URL, logo, then short sentence for introduction. And steering community, again, it's going to stay. Oh, I guess this is going to change to Kai. And after everything is done, you can just, I use Docker to test it locally. And the steps to start it is in the deploy.md, the markdown file.
Yeah.
So you can just run it.
Can you just generate like a static files, like a HTML?
Yes, it's using Docker to generate it. And once that's done, you can just access it locally on your machine. So localhost, and I think there's one config. So there's one more thing. At the root level, there is one variable you need to change to 24. So that's telling the container that's the latest year, the latest folder to use for the generation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
And, oh, I think I need to restart Docker. So then it should be generating the last previous one. Oh, no, it's not. Something's not 24. Should be. Oh yeah, remember to change that 21st, 22nd, and blah blah blah. Because every year is different.
Yeah.
Is it still? Oh. So 24 should be set to the homepage automatically. And then you can see the conference committee name has changed. And also all the title and everything, it should be changed. If I modify the data here, important dates, let me just comment. I will just change it to 24, just for the moment. Not sure about the detailed dates, but yeah, so here 24. So all you have to do is replace the year and just replace all the values in those YAML files. The rest should be all automatic, unless you want to change the layout of the website. Because all those YAML files will be used, for example, in let's host. Let's say there's a file which is HTML snippet. So it's reading from the YAML files and use that to generate all the actual text. So yeah, there's a simple syntax here. So if committee.program char exists, then loop through that list, generate those HTML.
Okay.
So this is how you end up with David Hunter here and Peter Van Gorp.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I see.
similarly for like important dates, it's using all data from here. And there is the script to generate this part. Yeah, that's it.
And what about the column where it says like the past conferences?
Past years, yeah. So there's another config file for past year. Again, website proceeding. I don't have the link for proceedings. It should be somewhere. I don't think it was sent to me. So you are supposed to replace the proceedings link. And again, you change this. And the venue was I don't remember.
Everest with.
Okay, that's a long one. We'll copy that. And the date was similar. And then just refresh the page. Here you go, 23. Yeah. So yeah, basically the work involved here is to update everything on the underscore data, then the year of the conference. Change all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the keynote page, the program page, like the sub page for
Yes.
for attendees?
That's that's the right question, I guess. So go back to the root level. Go back to the current year's folder. There's a keynote.html. Again, the content will be sent to you by someone, hopefully. Then you just have to replace the content here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And similarly for no. Well, if you want to update any like those so-called hard-coded HTML content, you just have to visit this folder. Everything is here.
Yeah.
And it's using the layout called default, which is reading from the include layout default here. So it's basically a layout, the parent layout. If you are familiar with React, just think it of as a component.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Again, venue, accommodation, those are, just someone will send it to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, the rest is just pure HTML, putting the pictures at the right location. Sounds easy.
Yes. Thank you.
Is it just Bootstrap or?
Yes, it's using Bootstrap for CSS, but I wouldn't. Well, someone eventually has to update it because the version of the Bootstrap is pretty old. It was from 2020, so but it does not actually introduce any new features we definitely want. So I would just keep it as it is.
Yeah. May I ask so what kind of server is it using?
So it's hosting. There's no server involved. It's using GitHub Pages for hosting. So whenever you're pushing a new commit, GitHub will handle everything for you. So within like 5 minutes, just the website will be refreshed.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
And oh, one more thing is I think Kai, you need to set up a Cloudflare account because every year conference chairs will be of course they will change, and so does the email. So for now I have the control for Cloudflare. What I do every year is here I'm using a free service called forward email. So whoever is messaging for example is messaging program chat at cgvc.org.uk, the emails will be automatically formatted to this year's program chair and conference chair as well. So all you have to do is update, go to Cloudflare, update this line, change the email to the right email address.
Okay.
So for this year, maybe mine at, I don't know, city.ac.uk. So just do that. All emails being sent to conference chat CGVC will be automatically forwarded to mine. And this, yeah.
So
this
how
is the
many alias do we have? Like just 2 alias, one program chair and one conference chair. Is it? Oh.
you can have multiple. You can have
Oh,
multiple.
okay.
Yeah. So any emails go to program chat CGVC will be forwarded to 2 different email addresses.
Mhm.
That's what all the systems do, all their reviewers, right?
Okay. And so for me, so I need to create a Cloudflare
Yes,
first.
yeah, it's all free. Then I can set up those entries for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. If you don't want to pay anything, that's the best way.
For the forwarding.
For both forwarding and DNS resolution.
What is the DNS resolution for?
So it's basically translating IP address into the actual website, or vice versa. So every time you're in cgvc.org.uk, it knows where to point visitors to, which is IP address from GitHub repository, GitHub pages.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll be looking at an ugly URL called CGVC website.github.pages or something.
I think on the GitHub settings, you can also set your own URL for the GitHub pages.
Yeah, but you still need Cloudflare to do that for you because GitHub does not handle your domain. So your domain is actually just an IP address, a record somewhere. It needs to be mapped to an IP address where your actual content is. So this is the step.
Let me
If
see.
if I disable that, I can disable that just for now. And if you then you go to cgvc.org.uk, you would just be seeing some sort of HTTP error. There's nothing.
Actually, just let me make sure I understand. So, so this is the repository, and it has.
Yeah.
Is this something you need to do both here?
No,
the
you don't have to touch that bit at all. You don't have to touch it on GitHub pages because all it does is it's declaring that my IP address, this repository can be visited via this address, and then next step is GitHub has to verify this URL looking at. The site is live, HTTP, blah, blah, blah. This URL is actually accessible. So GitHub will visit this URL itself, see if it ends up, at the right IP address, which is this one. This one is pointing to your GitHub repository. So you don't have to type in this IP address. Instead, you just type in domain name to visit this page. So it's just like a map sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And once you set this up, unless Cloudflare goes out of business or GitHub goes out of business, you don't have to touch it for a million years.
Okay. I got a question. So how can I find the IP address that appears in the Cloudflare? That would be like 185.
So GitHub pages, all GitHub pages use the same set of IP addresses. Yeah, so just quickly Google that, GitHub pages. So this is a detailed documentation for manage your custom domain. So they have only 4 different IP addresses. IPv4.
Well, I think you stopped the sharing, probably because I jumped in, so your sharing stopped. At least I don't see it anymore.
Yeah. So on GitHub's documentation, there's a list of 4 IP addresses. That's all the IP addresses they use. So all you have to do is create 4. Actually, create 2 would be sufficient, but just in case, I created all 4 of them, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Why did you create 4? What is that? Is that
so it's to avoid central point of failure. So 4 different IP resolvers. One of them might go out of business somehow.
Okay.
Like a few weeks ago, Cloudflare has had their servers all burned, and everyone was like out of business.
Okay. Good. Looks like it's well organized.
Well, yeah. I didn't want to make my life easier. I did want to make my life easier. So yeah, the best approach, and also it has to be free. Yeah.
And
thank you.
I'm just curious, how long did it take to build the website the first time, to build all these and liquid things?
It was like really boring. I guess many hours. I don't really remember, but after that, every year is basically copy and paste, replacing content. So each year is probably 2 to 3 hours maxed if you add everything bits and bobs together. Because every time you get emails from Frank saying I need to update this, then Bob said I need to update that, then the conference said I need to upload that. So I just wait for all of them to stop spamming me, then do everything in one go.
But also it seems it's some of the changes, for example, Mai can do herself, right? Doesn't have all goes through Wentao. Like for example,
that's the hope, but in practice, none of the conference chats did anything on their own. They just emailed me.
I'll jump in here and say I did have the intention to do this at the beginning, but when I saw the way it is set up is very different from anything that I've worked with before. Yeah. I usually take the lazy approach and just get like GoDaddy or Ionis and something like that to host my website. So I'm used to kind of the easy life. So this was quite different. Having seen what I've seen today, I think the only step I'm not very sure about is that sort of Docker bit, because I've never used Docker before. So that might be something Wentao and I might explore together. And if I end up also running it on my machine, I'll be able to make updates.
I would say the best thing here is just leave it to Wentao then. If you understand
what I'll do as well is I'll make sure.
Then yeah.
Yeah. So Wentao and I had a discussion already, and we agreed that we definitely won't be bombarding him with like bits and pieces every once in a while. We'll make sure that we have it in chunks of information that needs to be updated. So that's the other way to go about it, is just to make sure that we have. So I've started by collecting the assets from the marketing team at City, just to make sure we have that ready in time, and then yeah, we'll just kind of keep collecting information and then send it in one go.
And similarly for the assets, because you need to maintain that past year's website. So all the assets are here, stored here, like photo of speakers, the photo of the venue, logo of the host. It's in under the assets image, then the corresponding folder. And those so-called permanent assets are they just don't have a folder, like e.g. UK or whatever. Yeah.
And one, and just kind of related to the question about my in terms and the Docker. And if you say just change, say the files, for example, directly in the GitHub repository, that would reflect in the website, or you have to go to
yes, depending on what files you're changing as well. So what the GitHub does is every time you're changing something, you push the new commit, it will build the whole website from scratch.
Yeah.
And the product, the output files, they are not visible anywhere. You can't see the generated files. You can only see it by visiting the website.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, you can have the command to force it to output to your local, like here. So here is actually the generated HTML.
Yeah.
But changing those files will not. Well, temporarily it will make a difference, but on the next build, it will be replaced by the new content from your template. So nobody changes those files.
No. So the reason I mentioned is my understanding is the Docker thing is kind of just for local development.
Yes.
Can skip that
yes,
part.
it is because it's using this thing called Jericho, which is written on Ruby. And if you want to install all the Ruby dependency on your machine, feel free to go ahead. It's gonna take you hours and probably end up not working. So that is why I packaged. I used this Docker to package everything, so you don't have to go through the dependency installation process, which is absolutely a pain. I tried, it didn't work.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So no, I was trying to say you could try to change the web pages without using Docker, but that means you have to. Yeah.
No, you don't have to use it. You don't have to use it, but if you want to view the real-time preview, then you have to use it. Or you can just install all the dependency, which is like installing all the LaTeX dependency, and you just don't know why it didn't work. You have to install everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Is the setup for Docker and these dependencies described somewhere? Is there like a
because Docker is just think Docker as a virtual machine on your computer. Once you have it, you have everything. And if you don't want it, you can just remove the container. It's very equivalent to a virtual machine. Yeah, and the best part is you have a lot of people out there packaged everything you need into existing containers. You can just simply reference to it and use it. You don't have to configure it yourself.
So you just need to install Docker software on your computer once.
Yeah, install Docker once, and and they will just magically work.
But I think my point was Docker is really for debugging, which is very useful. Otherwise, the change will go directly on the website. It's gonna take a little bit longer to see the changes, but that's still possible. You can
still let's say modify the name of the program chair or conference chair or whatever. You can still, let's say I'm gonna delete all of them, and I can just directly push it to GitHub. And after a few minutes, you will notice all those names will be removed from the website. But as opposed to like locally in a few seconds, it's 24, right? Committee. Yeah, here they're all gone. Or I just undo and give it a few seconds. But it's purely for local debugging. If you're confident enough your changes are not going to break anything, just push it. I do that all the time because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and one last thing for the end of the conference is you have to update the awards. So let's go to the program page so for the awards, there's a special little tag here, usually in red. So let me go to that. So all you have to do is you have to add a new attribute here called award. So and the name of the work, that paper. And that's it. And you also have to update the link, the proceedings. I think it's often a few days before the actual conference kicks off. And it will just display a link says, oh, the conference proceedings are available here and hyperlink.
Yeah.
Okay. May I ask a question? So how do you add some like new section, like the section doesn't exist if someone needs? Is in the given page.
One way is to modify the page yourself directly, like add any HTML elements you want.
Yeah.
Presenter, let's say, hello. And let's presenter. Yeah, here you are.
Yeah.
And this is the easiest approach. And another way is to update the layout, which is the way I don't recommend, because it's going to affect every year's website, since it's used by every year's website. And then it's the includes. So for footer, you can have and the footer will just have that free somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So usually depending on what they are requesting you to change, if it's for this year only, I will just edit those HTML files directly. If it's affecting the whole website, then I will go to includes, like important dates. The dates will be dynamic, but the layout is always the same. So let's say if you want to change margin top to important dates. So that's just changing the margin. So it's gonna shift, like have a bigger space between two sections. So that's what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on what kind of changes you're looking at.
Okay.
And for anything you are not sure, just email me or message me.
Yeah. Okay. I get a question. So after I use git push, so I don't need to do anything. It would automatically update the website.
Yes, everything is automatic.
Okay. The Docker is just for local testing to see how the
Docker is just
works.
for you to preview the changes you were made, make sure it doesn't, screw up anything. For example, here you can directly tell this image does not exist, so just fix it, because it's using 2024 as the path to try to resolve the image which does not exist. Because here you don't have a folder called 2024. And if I copy and paste, rename it, it will just fix this image issue. 2 seconds. Okay, done. Fixed. So it's basically for debug.
Yeah. Okay. Is there like limitation of the size of file you can put in the GitHub page?
Yes, single file 1 GB. I'm not sure you will hit that like in a million years. And it has a total space limit of like I'm not sure whether it's 3 GB or something. And this is where I'm not sure if you're familiar. Git large file storage kicks in. So for this CGVC repository, which is free, you have 2 GB in total. So all of files add together cannot exceed this size limit. Otherwise, your push will fail, or you start paying money. Either way. So I think that's gonna last us at least another decade, because we're not uploading anything here actually, just a few pictures. So that's gonna last us another decade at least before then EGUK chapter chair starts to worry about bills. Yeah.
Have you ever put like YouTube video in the web page?
Well, you can embed YouTube videos. Just go through the traditional how to embed a YouTube video.
Okay.
Just yeah, pretty easy. It's just because down to the bottom is just HTML. So you just do the normal way. I'm not sure where is code. I think there is a code where you can just copy and embed.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this video, we'll show.
Haven't done that in ages, but yeah, there used to be code where you can just copy and embed a video. Oh, here we go, iframe. So let's say we go to index page just for the fun of it. Done. So here we are, YouTube video. Then you adjust, of course, you adjust the size of the container, like height, width yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, how do you test your web page? Is it just manual test?
Yes, there's no unit test or automated test flow anywhere, because I'm not sure what you're trying to test here, but yeah, it's basically manual visual test.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What about testing like conformity to WC3 guidelines or something like that?
About that. Nobody cares about anymore. Like it's like 20 years ago, people stopped paying attention to that. Yeah.
Anyways, that could be a possibility. I could imagine that.
Well, that's basically testing if the tags are valid or not. In this case, it's all automatic. It's all automated, so those tags are definitely valid. Otherwise, if I'm trying to do something funny here, my ID, let's say this. So my VS Code will just warn me this is not a valid HTML tag. So it's like the thing of the past, W3C standard.
Okay.
What about the accessibility and semantics HTML? Is that important for
no, that's definitely missing. The accessibility is definitely missing part of this website. So when I picked the colors, I went through the accessibility test for the color scheme, and also because we are using Bootstrap here, so
yeah,
we assume all the Bootstrap thing came with accessibilities in mind. But yeah, you have to. Well, if you really want to improve it, then you need to spend a few hours looking into that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a designer, so this is the best I can do. Yeah.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
I do remember us. We spent maybe like 1 to 2 months kind of discussing how the things should be laid out, how the information should be organized.
That's the taste of Bob Laramie plus the front-end designing skill of me, which end up with this horrible piece of I don't know what. But it's still
I think it's okay.
Big improvement than the previous website, which looks like this.
The previous one is really, really embarrassing. Yeah.
So I think the last one was 2019. Yeah. So it was, well, it was, at least it was simple, but it was also really horrible to maintain.
And so I know, like some of these, I don't know, template engines, or I don't know, or libraries, they have like a template or themes you could apply. Is that something you can do for this?
Yes, you can. Yeah, but good luck on finding a free and usable theme.
So
It's usually
what? Yeah.
Yeah, you can, of course, you can find themes, but if you want to find one that works for as a conference website, then there's no like preview or something, right?
So okay, so we need to look at
Yeah,
Jenkins.
you do have themes. Yeah, you do have themes. Yeah. You can like get the free ones. That's where I actually started looking into the theming part of the website.
Okay.
And I think our website was based on one of the themes. I don't remember which one, but check. It was based on one of the themes somehow, somewhere, but I don't remember which one.
Okay.
Yeah, it happened to be an academic conference as well.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, we did look at other conferences, didn't we? Was it like VizSec? Might have been the one we looked at.
Yes. VSec. I think yes. Yep. You have a similar thing, right?
Amazing.
Amazing. Passing the torch. Yeah. So actually, I think theirs looked very organized, but then you made all the requests. Then each year the conference just made some requests, so we end up with like a monsters. Yeah, everyone has a different taste. Past years, yeah, which looks exactly the same if you put it side by side.
I think it looks reasonable. I think it's I'm satisfied with it.
But how difficult is it to change the theme? Is that you have to rewrite everything, or is that just something you drag and drop, it would work, apply a different thing?
You can change the theme, but the thing is, some of the contents will not be compatible. For example, you set like width or height for certain elements, then the new actually does not have enough space, so it look really odd. For example, the keynote part, where if you look at this, the new theme might be a 3-column theme, so you have 3 columns. So this one will be cut off somehow in the middle. Then you have like a horizontal scroll bar. Yeah. And yes, that's it.
May I ask how about the registration page? After you click the registration, it is like an outside website.
Jumps to the university's somehow a shopping cart system somewhere. So I think it's somewhere one of the config files here proceeding. No, submission. That's submission. Yes, that's this part. And registration. Here we are. So it's hard-coded into each year's registration document.
So it might give me a link, and I just put it in there.
I think that should be the case.
Okay.
Or you can just have your own website and start charging people and get money without having anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the next question is for Wentao. Do you want to push this onto the GitHub repository, the changes he has made, or are you happy to go through these yourself later?
And I think the best way
it
is
would be great if it would be great if he sent me the files, like the local files, via like zip, and after I'm done things, I push it because the current thing is not like partially done. How do you think?
Is it
Well,
possible to create a branch or something and then?
Yeah, yeah. I can create a branch. That's the best way, I think. So
well, the logical thing is to push it to Git and then download it from GitHub. Right?
Yeah, I just don't want to update the website right now because
yeah, you can work on
this
branch.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Oh, I think got name. So yeah, that's done. So well, maybe I should change the name too. But yeah. So the branch CGVC 2024 is including all the change I've just made. And when you're ready, just submit a pull request to the master and merge it. Then when it will go live. Yeah, it should be here. Yeah.
What software do you use to write the code, the HTML code?
VS Code.
What's it called?
Microsoft Visual Studio Code.
Oh, okay.
It's the de facto standard integrated development environment for every developer.
But don't you use that for your like a maintainable software engineering module or?
We use IntelliJ for software engineering.
Well, because that's Java. IntelliJ is better at Java. I also use like PyCharm for Python, Golang for Go, and DataGraph for database. But just general, if you're really doing a quick fix, nothing serious, I'll just go to VS Code. It's quicker. And JavaScript is definitely done in VS Code.
I mean, this is not relevant, but you can run Java or Python in Visual Studio Code.
Yeah, it's just gonna make your life miserable.
Not too bad, but yeah.
Yeah, Python is
People
not that bad.
say Jupyter Notebook and in Visual Studio Code.
Yeah.
It's actually better than the actual Jupyter Notebook, some people think. But yeah, that's a different thing.
Okay, I think I have covered everything. So if anything is missing or you're not sure about anything, just contact me.
Yeah, sure, thanks.
It's very helpful that this is recorded as well, so I'm sure we'll be referring to the recording a lot.
Yeah.
A quick question for Mark, like when do you think you will start changing the website? I think it's probably too early now, right? So still.
No, actually, I'm looking to do it sooner rather than later. So, yeah, I'll start by collecting the assets, and I've already emailed the marketing team to get those assets, and hopefully get some information also from the program committee, so we can have something up and running as soon as possible, because that will help also with reaching out to sponsors and stuff. Yeah. So it'd be good to have that.
What we always do is we always put up the new website as soon as possible. Like in October, November time, then we just say, all things are being, to be added, to be decided. But we at least have the venues and the name of the conference chair and program chairs on the website. Yep. But for the content and program, we just leave it as TBD.
Yeah. I mean, another benefit would be, say, we will still have Wang around. He might disappear at some stage next year, so.
Yeah, not disappear, but you can always ask me for questions.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe I'll reach out to Wentao and have another meeting perhaps this week or next week, so we can work out the plan in more detail.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I assume that's everything. Bob, anything else?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. And other things that is just whether you want to take over